of adults with our designers. And it's actually, what's great about this is that it's a very flat relationship. We're really here to support each other, and everybody's in it to learn or to grow in some way. So I want to introduce Rachel, Grace, Mario, and Henry. They will introduce themselves briefly here, but they've just been a pleasure to work with. The team formation process was really somewhat accidental, but there was a little bit of a rhyme to it. All the teams are really complementary within their talents and their skill sets, and so we're really excited to see how they've all gelled individually and as teams. I'm going to hand it over to you guys. Who's going to manage the?
I'll do it.
Okay, you got that. Cool. And I will step back in shortly at one point for a little technical assist.
Okay. So we're Team Sunrise.
Because we rise to the challenge.
I'm Henry.
I'm Mario.
I'm Grace. And I'm Rachel. And our challenge was to redesign the Animal Friends Rescue Project Adoption Center, which is located in Pacific Grove, and therefore re-energize the AFRP adoption experience. So the situation that we were faced with was that the space is not conducive to easy traffic flow, uniformity was an issue, customers were unaware of the important message of AFRP, which is taking at-risk shelter animals away from the risk of being euthanized and stopping the pet overpopulation problem in Monterey County. It was hard for adopters to find the perfect pet, and the features can be updated. You can see to the right of the screen, this is the current floor plan.
Well, first of all, after Bob presented the problem to us, we decided that we needed to actually visit the original site, the adoption center, in order to empathize with the users and in order to find out what we needed to change. So this is a video of our site visit.
Where are we going?
We're going to the aquarium right now, but our final destination will be the AFRP place. And where is it again?
PG.
PG. That's right. Yeah.
No, actually, I feel like I did. I went to go get my hair cut the other day, like a week ago, and I was like, and he was like, "You're gonna sit up," and I was like, "Oh, I'm really
Constant ever. It's like this. So they need to change the lighting.
Yeah, I gotta go home. It'll send me your home. Oh, hello, everybody.
Hi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And so this is the space.
So yeah, that was just a quick montage of our site visit.
After visiting the site, we decided that we need to empathize with 4 specific users who interact with AFRP in order to create an ideal space. And these 4 users are the cats, the dogs, the staff, and the potential adopters.
So yeah, let's start off with the cats. We know the ones that live there 24/7. First of all, because they live there 24/7, we decided that they would need a better way to feel more at home, because it is their home. And so in order to do this, we decided that, we thought of some new ways. Some new ways to make them feel more at home would be to give them new climbing structures, possibly like similar to shelving, so they could climb up and have to do that, and also giving them a updated and relocated enclosure. So.
And the dogs need to feel comfortable too, so maybe updated enclosures and also moving them farther away from the windows, because they're right next to the door and they hear a lot of chaos like the cars and stuff outside. and it induces a lot of stress in them.
The volunteers and the workers need a new way to just better organize their space and manage chaos and organize the crowd. And in order to help solve this problem, the reception area can be relocated, the size can be smaller, and there needs to be a clear and visible display of their mission, and also there could be an updated mission.
And lastly, we focus on the potential adopters who need a way to find the perfect pet because as is stressed by AFRP, it's a lifelong commitment. So the two main points that we came across were to create a quiet adoption space with a place to actually get to know the animal's temperament so you know if it's the right animal for you, and preferably in the back of the store, and also a place to fill out adoption paperwork, which currently does not exist. Additionally, as you can see in this picture, there's all the animal bios on the back wall, but we thought of condensing this down to a digital kiosk center where you could, using an iPad or other form of technology, you could look through all of the bios to find all the animals in their care.
So these are our initial floor plans that we made, that we created based on what our empathy maps and what we thought they would be for, or what the users would think. And then we presented it to Bob, and based on what he told us, his feedback, and on these two floor plans, we made one that's like all of those combined.
So we decided, and also together with Bob, we decided that the half wall suggestion would be a good way to separate the cats and the dogs because it creates a lot of chaos because the dogs might bark at the cats. So that would be just a half wall with plexiglass so the people can still easily see over it, but the dogs and cats won't round each other up. And we would also place the reception area in the front, which is just a small standing desk. And on the other side, we would place the kiosk in order to prevent just an overflow of traffic in one space. It would be separated because those might be two of the most popular information stations.
And this is like the front. So we left the fence in because we found out that it's actually a second layer of security for if animals are trying to run out. And yeah.
And also, we decided to make the cages plexiglass so the potential adopters can easily see into the cages, but they wouldn't be able to stick their fingers inside the cages because that makes a lot of stress with animals. And since the animals could be able to see each other, which could be problematic, we would place half walls in between those so they can see each other.
And this would be the cat area on the side of the wall, where we'd have the scratching post, not in the corners where people can't really see them, or the cats can't really see them, and right next to the cages. And we'd also have the living room area for to see if what the animals would, how the animals would act in that kind of environment.
And finally, the kiosk information station, we would have an iPad on a pedestal, which would be space saving because it's not all over the wall. And then we would place one TV on the wall, which would be connected to the iPad through Apple TV. So whatever is on the iPad screen can also be seen on the TV, which is easily visible for older people.
So we gave you the general floor plan. Now we have some specific suggestions for furniture and other ways, simple ways to make the AFRP experience more enjoyable for animals and humans alike.
So first of all, our first suggestion would be to repaint the area, the AFRP Adoption Center. So first, in order to make the small room, the place is pretty small, feel bigger, painting the walls white would be a good idea, and two, in order to display your colors, and just painting the ceiling purple would also fit in.
So we can move the idea of a standing reception desk, which is currently an issue. We already talked about relocating it. But with this large front face, you can use that for advertisement, putting the mission statement of the AFRP, other things like that, to really get the message of the AFRP across.
And next, when we were, this is the iPad and the monitor that we were talking about for the matchpad function. First of all, our initial idea was to only use the iPad because it's compact and easy to use. But after talking with Bob, yeah, we decided that connecting it with a TV or a monitor with the Apple TV was best for the older clients too.
So we, as you heard in the video, Mario felt very passionate about the lighting, and we wanted to create a nice atmosphere, again, just to make the experience more enjoyable, so we factored in some new track lighting.
And for the adoption space, we decided on using easily sterilizable furniture called bubble furniture. It has cushions built in, but it's like covered with a coating of an easily wipe-offable material. Like it's covered with like a plasticky material. So, but again, it is pretty comfortable. So.
We wanted to add some shelving and structures into the cat enclosure to make the place just look nicer, visually appealing, and also for the cat's welfare. We heard from many volunteers that they like to go up high to feel safe, so we added that into the budget.
And again, this is one of the things that the AFRP people were stressing, an updated donation box, and we thought, yeah, it would be a viable use of the money, so.
And show the doghouse, so.
Yeah.
Thematic. So we calculated the labor and supplies, and we had a budget of $20,000, so we calculated everything together, and we came to about $19,910, so that's a little different. So now we've told you about what the AFRP experience is going to be like. We'd like to show you with a brief skit. If you will allow some costume changes.
Very nice lighting in here.
I like how you don't have to walk through the cats to get to the dogs.
Yeah, look at that separating wall.
Hi, welcome to the AFRP. How may I help you today?
Our family would like to adopt a dog, one that would suit us.
Well, let me direct you to our new digital kiosk center where you can look through the bios of all of the animals in our care.
Wow, that's really cool. Can you show me how it works?
Sure.
Very fancy.
So, using the iPad, just click on the option that suits your fancy and it'll appear on the screen. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Oh, very interesting.
Now you can see the adopters wowed by the atmosphere of the AFRP using the new kiosks to find their perfect pet.
Oh, that dog. That one seems a little too high maintenance.
We can't take our dogs with allergies.
Next, please.
Oh, wow.
That's a very cute dog. Maybe we should choose that one.
Yeah.
Hi, did you guys find anything you liked?
Oh, yes, this dog, Sydney.
Sydney.
Oh, perfect. Would you guys like to get to know her better?
Yeah.
Sure.
What? Is there any place where we could do that?
Yes, we have a quiet adoption space where you can get to know the animal and make sure it's the perfect fit for your family.
Oh.
Let me take you there right now.
Very nice. Oh.
Now the family gets to know the animal and make sure it's the perfect fit for them.
Yeah.
Oh, we really like this dog. We're interested in adopting.
So yeah, where could we fill out the paperwork somewhere?
Yeah, perfect. There's a space right in the adoption space where you can fill out paperwork.
I didn't see that.
As you can see, another happy family and dog have been united. So as you can see, we took the task of physically redesigning the AFRP space and trying to re-energize the AFRP adoption experience.
We would like to thank the AFRP stakeholders who allowed us to interview them and visit the site, including Bob Tyson, Kim Erlinson, Sandy Benzer, and Julie Pengfoss, just for giving giving us their time for interviews and
So yeah, we would like to invite you, the AFRP, to take our ideas into consideration, and again, rise up.
So we're going to just give a couple minutes for questions or comments. We focus our comments on things that you liked. We'll focus on kind of the appreciations, the positives, maybe things that you could move forward with. Also, after all the presentations, those beautiful drawings that they showed you, so the original ones with post-it notes were there, but that's actually a 3D rendering, and Henry and Grace, actually everybody contributed to it, but there's a laptop over there that you can actually interact with these 3D renderings and even make changes to it, which is pretty cool. So just want to give them a big round of applause. And just about 3 minutes or so for some questions or comments on the project.
Well, I think you guys did a great job, and we all appreciate what you guys did, and you just did a great job presenting this time and last time as well. And it's not necessarily an easy thing, and you made it fun. And I think we really like the ideas. And there's some things like just even like the half walls was a great idea, and that's something I don't think anybody particularly thought about. And I just kind of posed that problem of line of vision from dogs seeing cats, and we want people to be able to see that they're different heights. So the solution would be a half a wall and then maybe some plexiglass over that screen and moving things in the back and everything else. So you did a great job, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was exciting. You really addressed a whole bunch of different issues, and all of the audiences that you were trying to address, the cats and the dogs. I mean, they all have such different needs, and yet you did a really good job of empathizing with them and addressing those. I think you should be proud.
Thank you.
I thought you did an excellent job problem solving and presenting. I've got a question for you that I didn't hear was covered. How long do you think it would take to implement these changes if all of them were adopted?
It would probably take a couple of months, but I believe it would be a good change, and it would help the AFRP get more animals adopted. So
I think it could be adopted easily. The digital kiosk could be easily understood. I mean, the physical construction process might take a while, but I don't think the adaptation process would take that long.
My compliments on the suggestions for changing the aesthetics. I live in PG and I've been in there, and as much as I love the color purple, it tends to make the space smaller. So I really think that opening up the space with color is a great idea.
I said yesterday how much I love the idea of having a room designated for potential adopters and dogs to go into. Currently, there isn't a place, and I just think that's a really important component of your design. So, kudos.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, Grace?
Yes.
I just really had a question, and I've been in the AFRP site many times. And, does your design actually end up giving more a space to have more animals there at one time? Because a lot of times when I've stopped by and things, there might only be 2 dogs or 3 dogs. And I think it would help to have more animals there when people stop by. So I was just wondering if that design allowed for that.
Well, no, I wouldn't put any more. Unfortunately, just the way the space for size and room, there's really no more room for anybody, unfortunately. And I'd love to be able to have more in there. And then some days, and it also depends with as far as the dogs, because they don't live there. Foresters have to bring them, and they have kind of their own lives and some kind of a temporary boarding. So some days there can be 8 right? And some days it'll be up to 8, and some days there's just a couple. And then what we do though is if somebody is interested in a dog, we kind of arrange for them, for a certain day and time to come and meet them there, or at the forester's house, or some other type of thing. But just with the limited space that we have, there really isn't, unfortunately, more room to have everybody else there.
Which is why the meeting area would be so important, right?
Right, and then we do a couple of things, and like, so dogs, they typically, they'll go outside. We have these 2 little spots in the front that aren't quite ideal. The cats, there's a big enclosure where they all get some exercise, and you can be in there with them, but it's still kind of a compromise, because there's other cats running around, and there's other potential adopters kind of walking around in there, so it's not the same thing as what the team here is talking about doing, which is much, much better, where it's just you and the animal, you can kind of really see how it's interacting with just you, as opposed to some other people and animals that have the adoption side.
So let's see, who's got their hands raised, and we want to, Tom, and then Matthew?
Just, does the video aspect have more animals than are in the actual shelter at the time, so they could maybe arrange a meeting for the ones that they like?
We're talking about the Match a Pet kiosk.
The Pet kiosk.
Yes.
Yes, it would. Well, it would give you information on all the animals. So even if you couldn't meet them in person, you'd be able to find out just the personality traits and other things.
But perhaps to connect. I mean, I think one of the things, even as a coach, and getting into an organization and getting to learn about how an organization works and what's going on. This has been a really interesting process of insight. You just talking to people, you get these different perspectives, and I think that there's an opportunity there by going digital in the space. There would be an opportunity to maybe make it easier for somebody like Kim to, oh, here's this dog, and we want to make a foster connection with a foster family. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of dynamics in the AFRP space, and so that's really where the focus of these guys kind of had to narrow that down. There's a lot of complexity going on. It's a real system. It's an ecosystem in there. People, animals, all kinds of stuff going on. So kudos to the AFRP staff for managing the way it is, and hopefully, a couple of the suggestions here might be able to make things a little bit easier. Matt, real quick, last, and then we want to transition to the next team.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, building on that, you guys have done an extraordinary job. It's a really complex problem. It's an architectural one. It's thinking about the animals, thinking about the people who come in, and you guys have used a lot of tools like SketchUp. It's super exciting to see that you're using SketchUp to solve the problems, and then creating this iPad app. So I wanted to say, taking those tools and creating a kind of a holistic and a response that has many dimensions is really exciting. And I think the next step would be, now that I think you've created a really elegant solution for the problem in the space, and then to begin thinking outside of the space too. So, with funding, I mean, the box is a great first step, but funding can also extend outside the space, and also thinking about the network of animals, as you were saying, this app might browse animals that aren't even in the space. So I think, in summary, you guys have created this amazing solution and used some really great tools, and then, it can expand outside the space as well.
Great. Exciting stuff. Thank you.